Hello, one and all. Okay. Hello, one and all. Welcome back to my Halloween special for 2024. This time I shall be reviewing The Terminator, which is directed by James Cameron. It stars Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator. Then it stars Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, and also starring Michael Biehn as Kyle Reese. This was released in 1984. And keep in mind, this will be spoilers, so in case you've not seen The Terminator, guys, just come on, go watch Terminator. Then come back, you've been warned. So, Terminator, a cyborg assassin from the future, attempts to find and kill Sarah Connor, a waitress who is destined to give birth to a man who will save humankind from extinction. That is pretty much sum up the movie as I'm reading at it on Google. This movie, to say the least, it's fantastic, all honesty, guys. And yes, you're wondering, why am I doing this, even though it's an action sci-fi movie? Well, it's also a sci-fi action horror movie as far as I'm concerned. 3 of your favorite genres combined. I think, anyway, there's certainly horror vibes, and that's what I love about The Terminator. So, of course, at the beginning of the movie, you see the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, naked, with his big, muscular body, probably the most muscular he's ever been, as far as I'm concerned. Like, you can really tell he's just a proper bodybuilder in this moment in particular. Whenever you first see him come into 1984, and just, he is pretty much a villain. He, to say the least, is the villain in this movie, which I love the fact that he's a villain, and then some. So technically speaking, Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese are sort of the main characters of the movie in some way, you know. But the Terminator, of course, as well, but just Arnold Schwarzenegger. This was where people really started to look at him as a career, because of course later you would have Commando, Predator, which could be also talked about in the Halloween series. Then of course Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and then you'll have the other great cast in here. Linda Hamilton, just fantastic here, along with Michael Biehn playing their characters. Then you also do have Bill Paxton in the movie for a smaller role, but good to see him in there. And so I love whenever Terminator's getting clothes on, then of course you finally do get to see all 3 of the characters in one scene. Whenever Terminator is sort of trying to shoot at Sarah Connor, but then of course there's action going on. Then of course Kyle Reese then saves Sarah Connor and get into a car. She's not really sure how to handle it, but of course later on in the film their relationship, their connection really starts to develop, and I think they work extremely well together. And I really love the chase scene in particular, and just whenever you see the Terminator get damaged with the red eye, and just seeing the robotic skeleton inside is so bloody and violent, and I really love that. And that certainly makes up for a horror movie as far as I'm concerned anyway. And I also love the scene where he's also giving his famous one-liner whenever Kyle and Sarah are in trouble with the police. Of course, Terminator goes, "I'll be back." Then, of course, drives in and then kills the police officer, which I thought was just a brilliant scene. And then you do, of course, later on get the climax of the movie where You have the three, where you have the two characters, Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese, being chased after by the Terminator. So of course you do see more of the skeleton damage. Of course, later in the movie, you see the full skeleton on the Terminator. And I will admit, though it does look kind of dated, particularly whenever you see it on film. But all in all, it kind of doesn't really bother me. I mean, hey, it was released in the 80s, so at least within Terminator 2 Judgment Day, they somewhat sort of improved the way it looked. And so, just Arnold, the movie's just so... It kind of creeps me out, all honestly, particularly whenever the Terminator is getting burnt, then you're starting to see the skeleton come. No, it was just pretty much 2 decades before Anakin being burned alive in Revenge of the Sith. This truly reminded me of that, which was brilliant. It just looks so phenomenal. Like, it's just what real movies are all about, and I think that movies now these days are just not getting it. Unlike with all the movies like The Terminator. But Arnold, guys, The Terminator, to say the least, is definitely one of my favourite action sci-fi movies. It's a great movie with horror vibes in there, which I really like. Of course, this is the only kind of horror in the Terminator franchise, I'm afraid. But hey-oh, it's a great movie nonetheless. It has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is still impressive, to say the least. Then James Cameron directs the movie extremely well. The score is just... It's iconic, to say the least. Do-do-do, do-do-do. And just the way the movie looks, I mean, I watched it on my Blu-ray, and the picture quality is still great to look at. And honestly, I don't really think I have a single problem with The Terminator. I think it's a great movie for all action fans, sci-fi fans, and horror fans if you generally think there's horror vibes in it like I do. Because I certainly was creeped out by this movie. And I'm going to give The Terminator an A+. There you go, guys. That was my review on The Terminator. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think of The Terminator. So let me know below in the comments. Let's have a great discussion down there. As always, if you're new to my channel, please feel free to comment, like, subscribe, share this video, notify that bell before you leave if you're new. But if you're a returner, welcome back, and hope you're enjoying my content so far, particularly the Halloween segment. I have got so much more planned. You have no idea. And as always, until my next video, I shall see you then, and I'll be back.